Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome to my Go Live today, where we're going to talk about um, our body mass index and how you can choose your own body size. Just like up in the banner up above, and I'm going to add this little ticker tape here if I can find my mouse. Hopefully you can see me okay and hear me okay. You might hear some sawing in the background. My husband's working on his shed still here at the lake, so hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully you can see me. I'm kind of trying to sit in the shade because it is another warm one out here at the lake. So like I said, we're going to talk about you can choose your own body size. And if you're interested in finding out more, stick around and we're going to get right into that. So how many times have you ever referred to it, that the body mass index, and made yourself feel awful about that? I think that it is totally an unrealistic chart. I think it was set up many years ago, and a lot of people refer to it, especially insurance companies, those things, to see if you're in a certain category to fit in for insurance and that stuff. So it's kind of disheartening to always think that you have to fit into a certain box. So if we have not met before, you've never caught one of my lives before, my name is Heather Edmondson, as it says right there, and I assist others reach their fitness, nutrition goals by beating sugar cravings with accountability, coaching, and mentorship. And that is all through my e-commerce business that I have. So as I was saying, I think that those charts are not a good representation of what we should be striving for. We should be striving for a more healthier body. And sometimes because of those charts, we think that it's such an unattainable goal to reach towards, that the numbers are so low that it just seems way too far off for our body. But I don't think they're taking into consideration many other factors in the scheme of things. Oh, and we have some company here today. Hello, Patricia. Awesome that you're gonna stick around and listen to me. I won't be on here for very long, so I'm sure that you'll be able to fit it into your day before you take off and head out on this lovely long weekend. And we have Beth here. Thank you very much for jumping in. Hello. So as we're talking about here, we're talking about body image kind of thing, looking at those numbers on those charts that they have all over the place that show your body mass index. And like I said, I don't think that they're believable. I think that they were set up maybe a way long time ago, and when they had maybe more unrealistic visions of what people's bodies should be. So because they have that number for size and height and weight and all those things, it's kind of an unattainable goal for most of us because it just doesn't seem to fit with any of us. So instead of that, I think we need to really concentrate on not focusing on what the number says on the scale, but concentrate on more healthier eating habits, making sure that we have the right food in our house, don't have those triggers that tempt us and are in our way, in our face, like when my husband was baking all those cookies when we were in lockdown there, and I'm like, stop it already, because every time I'd go by the counter, I'd have to grab one, and then 5 minutes later I'd be going by the counter again, and then have to grab another one, and next thing I know it, I'd had 10 or 12 cookies in a day. So he has to stop doing that, and baking bread and things like that. So before you decide to start any kind of health or fitness program, make sure you consult with a doctor or your dietitian or your nutrition or a coach to make sure that you are it's not going to affect any kind of medications that you're on, and just so that they have a way of tracking to make sure that you're going to be in a healthy category while you're doing all this stuff. If you see me looking down, I do have a few notes here to stay on track and not have a squirrel moment. And as I mentioned, my husband's sawing in the background, so hopefully that isn't interfering with our chat today. So for many years, people have said to me, you look healthy, you're at a certain weight, and how do you achieve that? And then when I tell them how much I weigh, they're like, what? How can you weigh that much? You know what? Muscle weighs way more than fat does. So if you're looking at your weight as the actual consistent thing that has to be in your life, and you want to be 120 pounds or whatever it is, there's no way in heck that I'm going to ever be 120 pounds. Again, I was maybe when I was a kid, but not since I've become an adult, and especially not since I've had kids. And as I've gotten, as we age, that's an unrealistic thing to put on myself, to ever be 120 pounds again. And if I was, my skin would be so saggy and so hanging. And you talk about a turkey neck now. As we age, we shouldn't be as thin as we shouldn't be as on the number on the scale. We shouldn't be as low as we think that number is. We shouldn't think that that's an attainable goal or something that we should strive for, because as we age and we get too thin, we can actually look worse because we don't have as much muscle mass. So it's important to work on your muscle mass while you're on a health and fitness journey, because muscle weighs more than fat. And so people, like I was saying, would say, I can't believe that you weigh, I'm not going to say what it is, but they couldn't believe it. But it's because I have a lot more muscle mass, or I did, until the scales really dropped when I was sick with my cancer, and I lost 42 pounds there. And that's everybody's saying, oh, you look so good. But yeah, I wasn't healthy at all. So the number on the scale isn't always an indication of somebody's health or somebody's ability to fit in that BMI box. So come on, people, it's just a number. Throw it away, get it out of your head. Actually throw that scale out. Don't be stepping on it every day, because it gives you a false vision of what you think you should be. It could be, the number on that scale could be an indication of how much water you've had in the day, if you've actually been able to go to the bathroom in the last few days and push all that waste out of your system. Sorry to be real, but that's the truth. And so is it really an actual accurate gauge of what your weight should be? Some people are, like I said, significantly heavier, and it could be their bone density. Have they ever had that checked to see what their bone density is? Lots of people have more dense bones. A lot of people of different colored skin have more dense bones than of Caucasian people do. So that is always an indication. I was told as a competitive swimmer that people of color actually have more dense bones, and you don't see as many of them swim because they actually sink in the water. So there's a little fact for you, maybe you weren't aware of or didn't know. That's why they're better at track and field type events instead of the swimming and water polo and synchronized swimming and those things. So yeah, so the bone density can play a huge part in what the number is on the scale. Maybe you guys didn't know that and weren't aware of that. So we need to stop beating ourselves up. I know I seem to be harping on this over and over again in all of my discussions with you. Like, this is day 9 of 90 that I'm going live here with you guys to share all these facts and suggestions of maybe things that you can do in your life. And Patricia says amen to what I'm saying about your bone density and not beating ourselves up. So we can choose what weight we're going to feel the most comfortable at. It's specific to you because there's only one of you, and you are unique for that certain reason. You have different traits than I do, and I have different traits than the next person, and so on and so forth. Like I said, we have to respect ourselves for being unique. And if you caught my live yesterday, I talked about looking at yourself in the mirror and appreciating every little part of your body and finding a positive. So remember to dwell on the positives instead of the negatives that you see. If you do lose a significant amount of weight, your skin can only stretch back a certain amount, and then you're going to have loose hanging skin. And I know a lot of people have gone and had plastic surgery, and that's a choice so that they don't have this hanging skin. But even if you do have hanging skin, it's still you. It's still what you were or what you have become. And we need to not. Why do we focus on this image in our mind that we all have to fit into this perfect little box? None of us is perfect. That's where we come into being unique, and we come to being ourselves and that one person. We are ourselves. We are us. I don't know if we are we is an actual grammatical proper wording. I don't know. Anyways, our ideal weight is specific to each one of us, and we have to allow ourselves the dignity to choose the weight that's going to work for us, and not an unhealthy situation by trying to reach that weight that you think that should be for you. So we have to be very, very careful. And like I said, consult with your doctor or your dietitian or your nutritionist or your coach to make sure that you're staying on track in a healthy way, and choosing those healthier items over the unhealthy items. And yes, we slip up. We're human, and we slip up, and we can't stay perfectly on track every day. But you know what? Erase that. That's in the past already. You've moved past that. And every minute forward is a new step in your journey, and you can change your mindset and start again from scratch. It's a do-over. You get a do-over every day if you messed up the previous day. So we get to choose our body size, and that means not to deny that we've maybe had emotional eating problems either. We need to address that. Maybe we need to have a little bit of counseling. Maybe we need to have an accountability group to try and keep us on track. I know some people that are in this challenge with me, when the challenge has stopped in between the next challenge, they've reverted back to their old habits. It's very easy to go back to that because you have maybe done that for so many years. And that if you don't have somebody else to be accountable to, it's very easy to fall back into that loop. Beth is saying here, it's hard not to focus on the number, but I try not to focus on I try to focus on the non-scale victories. And that is so true. Like, are you getting enough water in the day? Are you trying to get your 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour's worth of exercise in a day to get your blood circulating? That helps to burn the fat, to rev up your system. What is Patricia saying here? My cats hear the birds in the background and are attacking my phone. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's tons of birds out here. It's crazy. Yeah, it's actually quite nice and peaceful to be able to sleep when you hear the birds and nature. Nature is a wonderful thing. It's also a reboot for your system if you get a chance to get out into nature. So that's a healthy thing to do whenever you get an opportunity to, because it gets your mind reset, and that you can actually refocus on the next step on your journey. So we need to stop beating ourselves up. And my challenge for you today is find a weight that's going to work for you, and not something that's unrealistic. Like I said, we have sometimes these unrealistic expectations we put on ourselves. We need to get real and honest with ourselves and say, like I said, I am not meant, for my height and my bone structure, I am not meant to be 120 pounds again, like I was in high school, with like the 18-inch waist that I had, those kinds of things. That's long gone. That's way long. And like I said, as a mature woman now, I can't ever be that 120 pounds. That's unrealistic. I want to be a curvy and soft to hug, you might say, kind of person than somebody that's got bony hip bones sticking out and bony shoulders. And if you have that, I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but that's just my perception of things. That's not yours maybe. So it's our job to pick the weight that's going to work for us. Consult, like I said, your doctor, your dietitian, to have kind of a goal to work towards. That's going to be a healthy spot for you to be in. And skinny doesn't always mean that you are healthy. So it's just like when somebody is struggling and going through something, and you're people are saying to some people, "Oh, you've been married for how long? How come you don't have any kids?" That can be very hurtful to that person. So skinny doesn't also mean necessarily that you're healthy. Like when I was losing weight, when I was sick and going through cancer, I was skinny, but I wasn't healthy at all. And people were saying, "Oh, you look so good." Well, no, I didn't. I could hardly walk across the room without having to hang on to things because the cancer had taken all my muscle mass. So it had left the little fat cells there, the little roll around my tummy and the saggy, flappy arms, but it had taken all the good muscles. So be careful when you speak to someone. Choose your words carefully, because that can be very hurtful. Maybe that person that has been married for X number of years and hasn't had a child yet, maybe they are struggling to have a fertility thing go on, and maybe they have tried to have some children and it's just not working. So be careful when you choose your words, and it goes the same for health and weight. So I have a little quote for you today, and it's not about perfection, it's about the effort. And when you bring that total effort every single day, that's when transformation happens. That's how change occurs. So get out there and slay the day. And you've got this, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for popping on and joining me live. And for all of you guys that are coming in on the replay, do let me know, and I will give you a shout out after the fact. The next health and fitness challenge with my mentor, with my group that I'm with, starts on August 17th. If you want to participate in that, please let me know, and I can get you some information about that. I have some PDFs that I can share with you of some healthy recipes, if that's something. Oh, I just bit my lip. Sorry. Healthy recipes, if you'd like something like that. And I can provide coaching and accountability and mentorship. And we can maybe even work through setting up some meal plans for you for a few days and see how you go with that. If you are on here and wanting to learn more about growing your business, my mentor is putting on a video challenge, a 21-day video challenge that's coming up here on August 19th till September 10th. And that is the best way. Live video right here where I'm doing right now is the best way to reach your audience. And it is the way of the future by 2022. Over 90% of your content that you will see on social media will be in video format. So look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Monday, tomorrow, I'll be on my other page and talking about Manic Monday. And I hope that all of you guys have had a lovely long weekend here in Canada, a Victoria Day long weekend. And we have one more day out here to be on the boat. So cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.